Welcome back into the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Today's show is a little bit of a different sort of show to what we normally do for our normal listeners. Today I'm sitting down with Troy Guenther and Tristan Vercoe from the Motorcycle Sportsmen of Queensland. And we're going to discuss basically road racing in Queensland via the Motorcycle Sportsmen. It's part of a 4-part series that we'll be doing throughout the year. So I hope you enjoy it and get to meet some of the different characters throughout the year that are involved in road racing in Queensland. On that note, it's time to turn it over to Tristan.
Welcome to the Southern Down Sit Down.
I'm your host, Mick, and we've got Tristan and Troy here. And basically, we're going to be doing like a preview and a post-race show for all the rounds of the Motorcycle Sportsman this year. Introduce yourselves. Start with Troy.
Hey guys, I'm Troy Guenther. I've been racing bikes since I was about 4 years old. Started on the dirt, switched to road racing when I was about 10 years old. Had a hiatus from a sport when I was about 17. Now I've come back as a club pilot this year. I'm really excited to do some more racing and share the passion and the joy I have of the sport with everyone. And really looking forward to the year ahead.
Fantastic, mate. And Tristan, tell me about yourself.
G'day everyone. So quite different to Troy in terms of only started riding motorbikes in 2017. But I've grown to love it. I've only done the road stuff. I was lucky enough to be the club pilot last year and very excited to see Troy doing it this year. Bit about myself. Love anything that's fast and fun. And Mick, who's running this fine show, I think we've
That's
bumped into...
cool.
Yeah, time will tell. But we've bumped into each other at every single event, I think. Yeah. Just anything that's fast and fun,
Anything.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of good that we're sitting down because the first time I met you, you'd fallen off the back of a sidecar. The second time I met you, you jumped off the side of an R3. So the third time now we're here, we're sitting down. Well, it's a lot more times, but it's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm feeling safe in this environment, so I appreciate it. Unless I roll this chair. We'll see how we go.
Explain the club pilot. What's that all about?
Troy, you want to take this one away the way you see it?
Yeah, look, I see it. It's an opportunity to have, I guess, there's a lot of generous people within the Motorcycle Sportsman Club that support the program, and what it is essentially a sponsored ride for the Southern Down Series.
Yep.
There's so much on offer for the rider, but then also there's an opportunity for the rider to give back to the club and the supporters. So really, it's just a platform to help promote the club, promote the supporters, and to share the passion and the enjoyment that you can get from going to the track and riding or racing a motorcycle.
So as part of being a club pilot, I guess, is mentoring other people and stuff like that too, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, most definitely. The last year, my experience of the program, where it first began as me trying to find my feet within the program and receiving a lot of support from the businesses, experienced racers over time and throughout the season. That evolved into still receiving that support, but it becoming its own, you becoming the person who people came to. So it's a mentoring role as well, and that's where it develops into. So you... I think it's a very much two-way street.
Do you think you've done a good job?
Oh, that's hard to say, but I've got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have.
I feel you have personally. And Troy, what do you think on that?
Yeah, he certainly left very big and I suppose you could say smelly shoes to fill as well. He's done a good job in that sense.
Have you got to wear his boots this year?
There's going to be certainly a lot that I can take from what Tristan has done.
Yep.
And what he said about promoting the two, it really is a two. We're getting a lot as the opportunity to be a club pilot, but there's so much of an opportunity to give back as well. And like you both mentioned, through the mentoring, like I think Tristan's done, he did a great job last year, and even some of the initiatives that he sort of brought forward this year. I'm really excited to see and to do, and it's a great opportunity for people of all ages, I guess, for us to share what experience that we have to help them along their journey, whatever that may be, at the track.
I think that's been one of the most rewarding parts of this whole program, is becoming a point of contact to help people get into racing. It's amazing how much how many requests we receive, like via social media or text message, or even just in person at
Yep.
shops that we visit or whatever. But that's been a really rewarding part, the mentoring part.
Yeah, I think it's one thing that the sportsmen have always been like very forthright with, trying to get more people in. It's been like the ground of their sport, and to do something like this and get all the partners on board is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, massive, and a lot of work's gone into doing that. And there's some, I suppose we're the face of what's going on, but there's so many volunteers and members of the club and the committee who motivated people who put so much time into this sport to try develop it, and future riders.
For you, Troy, it's a bit of a comeback, isn't it? Like, you've been off the bike for a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, look, it definitely is an opportunity for me to get back on two wheels doing the sport that I love. Like you said, yeah, it's been about 4 years since I've raced now. So absolutely, I see it as that, and I just see it as a great opportunity to have fun as well. Like, I've never lost a passion for the sport of racing motorcycles. Like, it's such a great sport, like the adrenaline, the speed, just the people you meet.
Yep.
And for me, yes, it's an opportunity to come back, but I see it as a way to sort of come home and just be surrounded by, you know, great atmosphere at the track. It's something that I'm really, really excited to get started with again.
Awesome. Like, one of the things, I guess, coming from, and you're only into the sport since 17, into bike sport, 2017?
Bike sport 2019.
19, really?
Yeah.
It must feel a bit intimidating. So I guess that's where things like Club Racer and that comes into it. That be right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So Club Racer, I'm so glad this was around, actually. A bloke at the club, Nate, took us under his wing when I'd first moved up here in 2019, started doing the track days, and he said, oh, you should come racing, give it a go, pointed us in the direction of Club Racer, and what a way to start. So Club Racer is the entry-level racing for 600s and above. That's so you'll have 600s, thousands, all like SV650, like all sorts of random things going on in there. But the club runs a first race free deal, so you sign up to do either the coaching day with Dave Fuller and his ART team, or the Friday track day, and then they'll assess whether you're ready to race. But you've put in your application to, or not application, sorry, you've signed up to race on the weekend following those. So you've got the Friday, then the Saturday, Sunday race. They'll reimburse your race fees for that weekend. So you only pay for the one day you do beforehand. If you're on a small bike, you can still do that. So if you're on a 300 or a 400, but you'll do the Friday, enter as normal, but you can't race with the 600s and thousands in Club Racer. You can go in Production Clubman or something like that and race with other small bikes.
So is the door open for everybody?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is. As I mentioned, like the purpose of the Friday and Thursday, the coaching day on the Thursday or the Friday track day, is just for the coaches to make an assessment on whether you're safe to race. It's not so much about how fast you are, or, you know, they're not looking for the next Valentino Rossi. That's everyone's misconception, I've found, who are looking to come race, that they're not quick enough. There's some of us getting around that aren't that quick, and that's not what it's about. It's if you can hold a line and be safe on a racetrack, come join us, give it a go. That's how you get quicker. Come racing. Like, the moment you come racing, that's just seconds chopped. As soon as there's someone in front of you, you find yourself going faster. So come join us. And
do you ride on the road at all, Troy?
No, I don't actually have a road license, actually.
You don't? I know Tristan, like you do.
Yep.
It's the other thing, it's safer.
Oh,
so you go out, you do your track days and that, you come back onto the road bike, everything's slowed down, everything feels safer. You know, you've got form, basically, and that's a big thing of it too, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. Good point.
Yeah.
Once you've increased your skills on the track, you stop thinking about your actual riding on the road, and you can dedicate so much more time to focusing on the hazards ahead, and all the other things that are your road craft. You can focus on your road craft on the road because the actual riding part of it is down pat.
You're going to enjoy it more too, because you're not reacting to so much stuff. You've got you've got time on your hands. That's one of the biggest things from coming out of road racing to just riding on the road casually that I enjoy of it. You got time on your hands. You've got technique, and you can apply that technique on the road.
And the more time you got to focus on pies and coffee,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I love pies.
Pies, potholes,
Yeah. Hopefully just pies.
everything else. But
Yeah.
now, part of your role this year, you'll be mentoring probably some juniors and stuff as well. Is that something that excites you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, I think with myself, I remember being quite young. I mean, I started with the Sporties Club when I was 10 years old. So I guess I still have that memory in my mind of what it was like there. And I remember some things or certain questions that I guess I wish I had answered or wish I had access to potentially when I was younger. And I guess the biggest thing, or what I can try to do through this position is, I guess, share what experience that I have been able to obtain from racing overseas and from racing over here, or racing here in Australia at like a top domestic level, is just pass on any information I can to them to help them with their journey. And yes, definitely there's going to be kids that are wanting to go to the GP, and from what experience I have overseas, I definitely want to try to help and pass it on. But if there's also people looking to try to just get the enjoyment out of a sport, like I want to show that it can be a fun sport and you can do it in a professional and applied manner and still achieve good results.
For those that are listening to this, and hopefully there's more than just us three talking.
Oh, Mum will chip in for sure.
Make sure she shares, likes, and subscribes. But can you just drill into a bit of your actual experience as a rider too? Like, I know you've sort of touched on it, but maybe you've done some gear in your time. So can you just tell some people?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it all started out. So I started on a dirt track in 2004. I had my first race, my catches on the Gold Coast. Yep. I raced dirt track until I was about 10 years old. I was able to achieve a couple of Australian dirt track titles during that time. And then I switched to road racing. Had my first race with a motorcycle Sportsmen, 2009, I believe it was. I think they still had the Southern Downs going back then, so it was pretty cool. Yeah. I was able, as a junior, I won a couple of national titles at quite a young age, and then I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to go race in New Zealand on a 125 GP bike, and had a really good time over there. I managed to win a national championship, I think, when I was 14 there. So then from there we went over and raced in the Japanese All Japan Road Race Championship on a Moto 3. Wow. And that was so much fun, like having grids. I think at Scuba there was probably, from memory, like 52 to 55, and it was like a 60-second lap. And just like, I remember, I think if I had one more tenth, it probably would have put me up about 6 positions on the grid. Like, it was just that intense. So I had the opportunity to do that.
That's close racing.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing in
and
that.
You had a lot of ex-GP guys over there as well, like Tokudome-san, Yuichi Yui. And there was just so much I learned from racing in that environment. And then I came back and had the opportunity to race the 600 here in Australia. And first year we had some great results. Managed to win the last race of the season, which really set the next year up pretty well for us to go on and win the championship, the Australian 600 title. So, yeah, from there I had a stint with BMW in the Australian Superbikes, and then after that I've had a bit of a hiatus from the sport. But yeah, that's I guess a brief background on what I've done. But it's great to have that past experience.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We did pretty good at the club one year, eh?
Yeah, I got a 4th in B grade. Yeah.
Man, that's huge. No, but in all seriousness, that's the sort of stories, the sort of things that people around the club should hear. And you're a good mentor, like you can still ride as well. It's not like you've stopped riding, So it's a fantastic person that people should be leveraging off and learning, the goods, and obviously there's been bads along the way too, which always happens. So they're the people, like you're one of the people in the club that people should be leaning to, and that's why you suit this program.
Definitely.
So
yeah, just a quick one for Troy. When you were coming through as a junior, who were some of the up and comers like that you saw as mentors? Like I don't even know how old Mike Jones is. And no one knows. Was he older than you, or like who was in the club at the time? Yeah,
I definitely did look up to Mike a lot. I think just the dedication and the professionalism he brought, and even at quite a young age. Like for me, that's something. And he was fast. Like I wanted to be fast like Mike, and then he was good off the track as well. Still is.
He would have rode the old track of Morgan Park too. 2009, that would have been
Yes.
still the back section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before they had. In 2010, they constructed from turn 8 onwards. So
Yeah.
we had the older track there, and I remember running a couple of different variations of that as a junior. So it was pretty exciting.
That was fun. We used to do the supermoto for that, that old track.
I heard
And
about that.
it was great. So you come out of 7 and then you drop into 8 sort of thing. And that was a fake 8 now.
Yeah.
It was good. It's a fun little place to ride. So
It's a real 8 for us. Yeah.
it's a myth. So who else came through? Mike would have been one. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 22 now.
22. Yep.
Yeah.
Geez, you've done some stuff.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, really.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mike was a big one for me.
Yeah.
I remember Steph Redmond at the time as well, and her brother Phil. For me and Mike, particularly Mike, was a big idol just from a way. Like I said, he handled himself off the track as well as on it. Like he was fast, but he sort of brought a bit more of a holistic professionalism to it. Not saying that the other guys didn't in any way, shape, or form, but Mike always just stood out to me as what the complete package should bring. And yeah, like I've always looked up to that, and if it's something that I can sort of promote, I mean, there's no problem with being competitive, but you can certainly do it in a professional and sportsman-like manner as well.
100%. I've got nothing to add to that.
No, it's pretty good.
That's, you sort of... I've gone real shy now.
Yeah, sign my hat.
Speaking of Mike, I was saying I rode this morning on the bike, and I think it was 7 minutes up this mountain on the e-bike.
Yep.
And I looked at Mike's the king of the mountain on this one, and he was 3 minutes on a pedal bike. And I was on an e-bike.
I was actually, I went out to support Benny Henry from down at Cube at a endurance mountain bike race recently. I was hoping to race myself, but had to leave halfway through. And Mike was there racing with Chrissy, and kudos to Ben, smashed as well until he had a mechanical fault. He was killing it, not too far behind, but the pace that Mike was keeping for these laps was just mind-boggling. Oh, I saw you out there as well. Stop following me.
Well, I think you were the problem, because when you gave me the drink to hand to Ben, because he was cramping, that was when he had his mechanical. So, anyway, that was cool. Actually, that was exciting to go watch that race.
That was a good event.
So the other week, we're all out at Warwick, at Morgan Park, obviously, to watch the Masters. What was Masters of Morgan Park? What was some of the highlights?
Ooh, I'm a bit one-sided on this one because it also hosted the Australian Championship round of sidecars.
Yes.
So for me, that was definitely the highlight. I'd like to firstly thank all the teams that came interstate to come visit us and come racing. So thank you very much to everyone who made the trip up. It was an awesome event. So from my side of the house, definitely the sidecars. It was an awesome weekend of racing, but as a whole, what a huge event! Hey, holy moly!
It was cool.
It was massive.
They it was just, and even hearing like so many two strokes on the grid at once, that was epic. Like I was just like bringing back some of the junior memories.
Seeing the cloud of smoke go up as the two strokes took off, it was sick.
Yeah, it was cool. And then seeing, like, I guess the caliber of the sidecar competition as well. Like, I mean, Corey and DJ doing like 1 minute 19 laps. That was pretty phenomenal.
Sub 120s on a sidecar.
And the bikes looking, the outfits looking so prepared. Some of them, it's incredible. The level just seems to keep rising, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And it's the people who race sidecar are so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And so close. The great thing about it is everyone's mates. Like, people came from interstate, everyone got along, everyone was chatting to each other, helping each other out. It's a pretty special group of people to be a part of and feel privileged to be a part of it. And cool. Chasing the turns is always fun. Like, we're in second place and solid. We PB'd by a mile. Like, so stoked with it. Dan rode the absolute wheels off that thing. It was a wild ride to be on the back of that bike. He rode so well, and we're still 5 seconds off him. Like, that's
5 seconds in racing. It just doesn't seem right, eh?
Yeah, they're a class of their own. But quick shout out to Dan, mate. Thanks for the sick weekend. That was wild. That was cool.
Jumping into it we won't dig too deep into it, the few years you've been into the sport, did you think you'd be doing this?
Absolutely. I didn't even have. To be dead frank, I didn't know they existed. Because I've got no experience of racing or watching racing. My family's never been into like any form of motorsport. No idea. And I think that's, I went into it oblivious after seeing it. It looked like fun, and just so glad I did. So glad I did. You can't really compare the two in terms of sensations that you experience.
Yeah.
It's you're so close to the ground, you're going so fast, and it's so physical, not so flowy like a bike, but tons of fun, and wouldn't change a thing.
Know you're alive.
You definitely know you're alive. Definitely know you're alive.
What's Troy got here?
I only like Tristan. I was very close to having the opportunity to swing off of one, and I actually had the chance to sit in a sidecar for the first time. And like I'd never had too much to do with it, or hadn't had the opportunity to meet too many people involved. And like Tristan said, they're a great group of people. But the thing, I never realised how physical the actual, and this will sound very naive from someone that's never really been in a sidecar before, but like how physical the position is actually just to sit in the cockpit. And then even like I had a bit of a chance to sit on the side and sort of go through the motions of what you would do as a passenger or a swinger. But yeah, like credit to them, because it definitely is. And this is just coming from someone that's sat on one station in a pit. It definitely, it's probably going to be a lot harder than what it actually looks. But yeah, credit to the people that can certainly do it, because it's a lot goes into it.
Legit. And like Tristan, you're fit, genuinely a fit person. You came in on Saturday up?
Yeah, that was
like you're racing hard.
That destroyed me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it took every ounce. So Dan's on the chassis a bit older, and to get it around at the times he did, like we got down to a 124. It's really pushing that bike, and it's quite violent. A lot of sideways action, like drifting through turn 9 at max speed, like it's full lock sideways, and it snaps back, and you got to counter that, and it's all over. It takes every bit of strength that I had, and I think that's part of the thrill. Like you really don't want to let go.
Even coming in, I was working down in turn 4. I was filming some stuff, and I was sitting down there watching. Coming into 4, it's sideways. Midway through 4, it's like laterally moving, obviously.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it's still sideways the whole way. Like the force that goes through it.
Yeah.
Crazy,
and trying to time when you feel it sideways, and you're trying to time the grip for using the momentum to move from side to side. When it is, like, if you make one error, which I do from time to time, I still haven't quite mastered it. One error costs you a lap of being exhausted. Like absolutely, it's fun. Like it's a challenge. Like it really is a challenge, and as you said, you're alive.
It's going over the mountain, not around it.
Yeah, correct.
It's a perfect thing.
Yeah.
What was your standout?
Oh, from the weekend, it was just, I guess, the atmosphere. Like, I hadn't been to too many of the Masters of the Morgan Park events in the past. So just seeing some of the, I guess, the unique bikes you might not necessarily see on a normal weekend was pretty cool. Seeing some of the Harleys, and just seeing, them go around a track, seeing the actual finish and some of the custom parts that were made for them were really cool. I remember seeing, I think it was an RC30, Castrol livery. That thing was immaculate.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Yeah. And I was actually really fortunate to get the chance to sit on that. And it was just such a comfy bike, the position and everything. It
sounded incredible.
Yeah.
Didn't it ever? It was, oh, man.
Yeah. But for two strokes, like I said, that was a big thing for me. It was just so cool to hear so many of them on the grid. And then just be surrounded by such an atmosphere that's so, I guess, passionate. And I guess one of the things that I noticed, particularly at the Masters of Morgan Park, was so many people were so passionate about the bikes they brought. You saw definitely some older bikes. I can remember some of the Ducatis, and they were certainly very, very noisy, but seeing the people's passion that were sort of surrounding the bikes that they were riding was something that was really cool. And that's, something that really stuck out to me from that weekend.
Yeah, I know for the team has-beens and Wayne Nolan, Jason Martin, Stewart, all those guys, it's how important that event is. I think that was the standout for me. So beyond the sidecars and the Aussie round, some people put everything into the Masters of Morgan Park. That's their race meet for the year. They're so put every bit of heart and soul and research and development and money into just this one meeting, and I loved it. Loved it.
And the quality of all the bikes.
Yeah.
It was incredible, you know.
Yeah.
There's basically a group of like friends of ours from northern New South Wales, and that's where the RC30 was. But you look at the ZX7, RC30, those two Kawasaki's, you look at the line of them and you think, holy crap, there's some of the most collectible motorcycles going around.
And they're getting raced
hard. Yeah.
Raced hard.
It was good. It was an awesome weekend. We were blessed with the best weather you could ever have. And crowds. A bike show basically at the front gate. There still was just as many good bikes at the front gate as there was in the pits.
Yeah, that's
so it was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a bad word to say about that event. That was super, super cool.
I got a flat battery on Sunday morning. That's the only bad thing I can say.
No, here's the negative Nancy. Here we go.
No, I was just trying to keep the heater on all night. It was awesome. What a weekend.
Yeah, cool. And it really was good. Seeing you getting around there, mate, and all your mates on the Harleys, and it was just, all really cool stuff. Just on that, there was a bit of a dingle, so shout out to Elliot Wielden for, I hope you heal up quick, mate. Had a bit of an off at 11-12 and unfortunately is hurt, but all the best, mate, and I hope you heal soon.
Another shout out to Matt Abel. It's Matt, isn't it?
Matty Abel.
Matty Abel, Sidecar.
Yep, yeah.
He's the one that let me the jump pack on Sunday morning.
Good on you, Matty. Yeah.
Thanks for the Sidecar, people.
He's a good guy.
But, what else have we got the Motorcycle Sportsmen got coming up?
Southern Downs,
Exciting.
round 1.
Yep.
June
Southern Downs.
18th,
yep.
19th, I believe it is.
Yep.
And Troy's debut on the Sporties Club pilot bike.
Oh, it's going to be so cool. Just to actually go from emotions to having like the whole race lights out again after the time off that I have spent. I'm so excited about, and it's going to be great just to be out racing with everyone again. Good mates, great bike, but I'm really fortunate to have through a club pilot program, and just the atmosphere of being at a track's definitely something if you have a chance to come out and race or even just come out and check out. It's not something you'd want to miss.
Awesome.
Yeah. Another thing we're doing that Troy and I had a bit of a chat. Give it a trial run, but I think it'll work well. We're going to take in a first-time racer into our pit. So hopefully it works well with 3 in a pit. If not, we'll figure it out later. But the idea of that is we're going to try and make the day a little bit less stressful for someone. Show them when to get out, the timing of the event, making sure you don't miss your race. Just some tips and tricks that we go through. So I don't know, as simple as soon as you come in, check your tyre temp.
Yep.
Get the warmers on straight away. Get your bike squared away. Just routines that we go through that might set them up for their future racing and give them a bit of a jump start on their racing career, we hope.
Unplug your warmer from the power.
Yeah, definitely don't ride out with warmers on, things of the sort. Yeah, because I've definitely made some mistakes in the past.
I won't get you at Eastern Creek.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you had what? Sorry.
So,
bugger.
Yeah, the warmer got taken off at Eastern Creek, and I went out, but my pit crew weren't really thinking about pulling it out of the power at the time.
Oh no!
And so all of a sudden, what's on fire?
Yeah.
So that was great. But just little things like that. People
Cheeky
don't
barbecue in the pit.
Yeah, that's it. Kebabs. But it's the thing that people you just don't know until you actually know. So that's a great support to have.
Yeah, so we're going to take Scott Schultz.
Yep.
He's doing his first race on his, I think it's an MC22. So that's going to be cool to see him out there, and hopefully he enjoys racing as much as we do, and hopefully we can make it a bit easier for him. But
absolutely.
Yes, Southern Downs, round 1. Get keen. It's happening.
Bring the family.
Yeah, bring the family, bring the kids. Tell your mum. Yeah.
Where can we find you online, Tristan? Like on the good platforms, that is.
Many. No, on Instagram, it's just Tristan Vercoe Racing.
Yep.
And same with on Facebook. Feel free to hit us up with any questions you got about
Perfect.
coming racing.
Troy?
Yeah, likewise. I'm just Troy Guenther Racing on Facebook, and I've got a Insta page, troyguenther.65. But yeah, like Tristan said, if you have any questions about coming racing, feel free to ask, and yeah, more than happy to steer you in the right direction.
Perfect. And the club is Motorcycle Sportsmen, Facebook, Instagram, website. You'll find it. Just type it into Google and you won't miss it.
Yeah. A lot of the questions you ask us are usually on the Sporties website.
Yep.
So worth having a look at their class info, things of the sort.
It doesn't show us how to Photoshop like Tristan on the Sporty site, though. So Tristan does some very good Photoshopping. He's been kind enough to include me in some of the photos where I couldn't be present. So, yeah, he also offers a Photoshopping service if you do require.
I will crudely cut anyone's head and paste it onto anything if you would like. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Violent. On that note, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you to everyone that's been listening to Chapter 1 of the Southern Downs Showdown, presented by Motorcycle Sportsmen of Queensland. A big thank you must go to Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson for providing us the studio space to record this show in. And once again, a big thank you to the Motorcycle Sportsmen and all the supporters, volunteers and officials that make racing possible in Queensland. Make sure you like, subscribe and share, and we'll be back with Chapter 2 after the Southern Downs round. Thank you.